Hello everyone, this is Lydia at Homespun Quilt and Yarn here in Astoria, Oregon. I've got the camera turned around so everything like the words on my shirt, which say I am not fat, I'm hiding my fabric stash, will be reversed. But today I'm going to make the Burrito style pillowcase, and you start out with a 9-inch piece of fabric for your cuff, and that is going to go face up on your table. If you are doing a accent strip, which I'm not today, you would have a 1.5-inch strip and you would fold that in half, and that would go, I don't know how I can do this better. This way. Maybe I should practice this. Anyway, that would go next, and you could just pin that in place. Okay, but I'm not doing that today. I'm just going straight to the body of the pillowcase. And I've got some little glasses. Ha ha ha. And that's going to go, right sides together with your cuff fabric, and this is 3/4 of a yard, so 27 inches. And I'm going to just match on one side the salvages. And I'm going to pin a few places along here just to kind of keep it straight. And these are 9 inches by width of fabric, and I have left the salvages on. I'll take those off later. If you have a serger, this project is so easy. Okay, so like with most fabrics, the different manufacturers have different widths on the fabric. So I'm just going to pin this other salvage and not worry about this extra fabric here. Okay. I'm going to lay this back down with the body of my fabric facing up. That's my glasses. And I'm just going to kind of fold this fabric up inside the cuff. Making sure that I leave enough room that I can flip the cuff over and pin it to the top. And I'm going to grab the camera for a second. So if you get seasick easily, be careful. Okay, now how am I going to do this? So you can see I've just kind of folded this up. There we go. Inside the cuff, and that way I can bring this over and pin that again. So I'll put you guys down. Whoops. So now I'm just going to pin the salvages all together on this end, and I'll just pull my pin out and reposition it here. And I'll put a few more pins than I originally had, so when I'm sewing I can go fairly fast and still have all my pieces match. So this burrito style, you can see the body of the fabric is going to be inside the cuff, and after we sew along the top, we'll pull that out and we'll be able to do a French seam on the outside. Now, French seam just means I'm enclosing my original seam, so I don't have to do a second row of stitching in a zigzag or something to keep it from unraveling. Also makes that seam inside really pretty. I'm going to make sure that my cuff and my body fabric don't get caught when I'm pinning. So I just kind of crumble this up inside as I go. Crumple is an official quilting word, you know. I think I meant was crumple. Squish. Force into submission. The seam, when I get to here, is just going to be 1/4 inch. And because it's automatically going to be enclosed, I don't have to worry about doing a second stitch. It's kind of like its own. No, it's not really a French seam, but it's enclosed anyway. The reason you want to do the cuff and then your accent piece and the body is so the accent piece will show up on the outside instead of the inside of the pillowcase. And on my machine, I'm going to be moving my needle position to the right because I'm using a Clearfoot 34. I'll show you, well, I don't know if I can show you that without getting, okay. So here's my cuff with my pillowcase body inside. I'm going to spin this around. Here's my sewing machine. This is Clear Soul number 34. It gives me a good view of everything. Plus I can use my dual feed and I can move my needle position over to get a 1/4 inch without having to change feet. Just put this in here. I'm not going to backstitch on this because I'm just going to cut that off anyway. My machine's going to make a buzzing noise. We call it the Bernina burp. There we go. I have my little tray that I put my pins in as I go. I know it's very exciting to watch me sew. With my needle position to the right, this is now 1/4 inch. I did press and use best press on my fabric. Just get some of the big wrinkles out. I'm also feeling as I go to make sure I don't get the cuff caught. I'm sorry, the body of the fabric caught in my stitching. And notice I'm letting the feed dogs on the machine do the work for me. There shouldn't be any reason that you have to pull the fabric from the back. Alright, got that part done. Spin this back. And here we go. It's going to grab the cuff and the body and just start pulling this out. All right, there we go. There's my cuff. There's the body of my fabric. And again, if I had added my accent piece, if I'd added an accent, it would have come out right there. Okay, I'm going to spin around. You'll see my back for a couple minutes. I just like to press the cuff away from the body of the fabric. Okay, now I'm going to put this, just going to fold it now. It could go either way, but I'm going to put it wrong sides together because that's the way we're going to sew it anyway. What I'm just going to do is fold this, lay it on the table, and remember we had that extra piece. I'm going to line that up as best I can by eye. Lay this, I'm thinking as I go, so okay, we'll do it that way. And I'm going to flip this over. No, it's not quite working. We'll just eyeball it a different way. Here we go. Oh, that's why I was going to fold it the other way. I remember now. Okay. Never mind what I said before. Go ahead and line up the selvages. What I'm going to do is bring the bottom selvage up to the top. This may turn out funky. I'm making this up as I go, can you tell? So I'm just eyeballing where my selvages are and how much extra fabric I have that I have to cut off. What this is going to do when it's folded like this is let me cut it off all in one cut. And I'm checking. Let me do this again. I'm checking that this extra fabric is showing approximately an even amount, but I am going to cut it over here. And I don't see my long ruler, so we'll make this up. Like I said, I'll just make this up. Making sure my folds are smooth, that these are together up here. And I'm just, okay, good, you can see that. Just going to go right inside there. There it is. Okay. And these top edges should have lined up, so I'm just going to fuss with this a little bit more.
So much so that I was obliged to take command myself. Okay, I know this.
Okay, that's why. The top was lined up, but the back was not lined up. So that gave me an uneven edge up here. Okay.
What do we do with unbelievers?
Well, I need the edge of my ruler up with the edge of my fabric. Just a touch more. Just stop there. Use my second ruler to finish this cut. And that all made sense to me. I just used my ruler to line up so I could move this one when I butt it up against each other. I can move this and still get my nice straight line. All right. So now we can put this wrong sides together, matching at the top, matching the seams on the side. And I know pinning isn't for everyone. I still like to do it. And these pillowcases that I'm making are going to Camp You Can Do through the Sandpiper Project. Camp You Can Do is a camp for children with cancer and I think other chronic or acute diseases. And it's located in Tillamook County. So next year, the Sandpiper Project is hoping to give pillowcases to every camper that goes. Brothers and sisters of campers. Like Balloon was able to go because she had leukemia, and Hannah, her sister, was able to go because she was her sister. So this I am going to backstitch, and I changed my, whoop, okay, I did that wrong, never mind. Still need my 1/4 inch, not a 1/2 inch. Ah! Okay, try again. Go back to my 1/4 inch. You do a 1/2 inch when you make a French seam. So, this grip never hurt anybody. And I got it before I went all the way around. Okay, now that I've got the cuff lined up, I don't worry so much about pinning. I just want my edges to be lined up. And again, I'm letting my feed dogs do the work. That's what they're there for. I love doing pillowcases. They're a really easy project, especially with this burrito method. I do like to put a pin at the bottom to keep my edges lined up better. I go all the way to the edge, back stitch, and then turn a corner. It's just kind of a laziness on my part. It doesn't have to be done. Most of the way done now. And I'll back stitch at the end of this too. Now, we have two choices here. One is to trim your seam allowance to 1/8 of an inch. The other one is to just clip the corners, good. Then we'll flip it right side out and do the French seam, which I'm going to do today. So I'm just trimming my corner and my other corner. Now I turn this pillowcase inside out so the wrong side is showing. And this is how we make the French seam. I'm going to use my purple thing to do my points on the corners. And they're probably not going to be perfect. But... Okay. I'm going to give this a quick press again, just to make sure the seam lies flat when we do the French seam.
I graduated from Southern New Hampshire University. I always said I would go back to school when I had time. I went on our website, I spoke to an admissions counselor, we applied and I came there. That's when the journey really begins. Going through the program, having the support that I had really helped me understand what I can accomplish. And I learned this just by taking classes at night while I worked a full-time job. The resources at SNHU were incredible. I think if I was back
Just another minute or so while I finish this up.
It's time to feed the dogs real food in the right amount. A healthy weight can help dogs live a longer, happier life. The Farmer's Dog makes weight management easy with fresh food pre-portioned for your dog's needs. It's an idea whose time has come.
The temperature breeze makes sleep feel cool. So no more sweating all night or blasting the air conditioning because the Temper breeze feels like 10 degrees cooler all night long. Don't miss our biggest sale of the year with savings up to $700 for select adjustable mattress sets.
Missing out on the things you love because of asthma? Get back to better breathing with the Zenrap, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma that is given once every 8 weeks. The Zenrap is not presented with symptoms or other conditions.
Okay. I ironed this edge, otherwise sometimes you'll just get a kind of a dimple in the middle, and then it's I don't know, this French seam doesn't do as well, like I guess that's my reason anyway. So now I'm switching to a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and that will enclose my 1/4 inch on the other side. I am going to backstitch. And fly, fly! Doing the corner. French seams are normally used in clothing to enclose the raw edges, but it's great on pillowcases because then you don't have raw edges or have to do a zigzag over them to keep the fraying from happening. Okay, so here I'm coming up to the cuff. I just want to fuss a little bit with that and make sure my seam is lined up. Give my fingers a twist. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like the oil in my fingers dries up as I get older. Don't know why that is. All the way to the edge, back stitch. All right. Cut my thread. Yeah, you can even see the shadow where the seam allowance is enclosed in there. Missed a thread. Oh, this one came from inside the cuff. Okay, one more time, I'm going to turn this. And turn the camera again. Fly away. There we go. Thing.
Still headed our way.
Pushing my corners out here. And naturally, there's some loose strings that are poking through the seam. Alrighty then, now we can deal with those two. And then I would give this another pressing. Just going to run my purple thing along there. This would be much better served with a different tool. Okay, and because I saw those strings down there, I'm going to check the whole seam allowance for loose string. Loose thread, I should say. Okay, so this is my cuff where it comes together on either side, and it is off a tiny bit, but I can live with that. So I'm just going to run this seam, make sure there's no thread sticking out from it. As the fabric unravels when you're sewing, it can